morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, December 7th, 2018.
Commissioner Garcia, Cabello, James, and Davis is present. President James, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Robert Gutierrez, Bureau of Street Services.
I got you. Good morning, Vince Nguyen with Street Lighting.
Good morning, Ron Lee with Sanitation.
Good morning, John Ollinger, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Priscilla Magarzadeh, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We also do not have any comment under the Neighborhood Council comment section. No speaker cards on any of the items also for today's agenda.
Okay, we'll close general public comment as well as the Neighborhood Council category of commentary. I would note for the roll call, just for the record, Commissioner Jacinto is here. You said Commissioner Davis. We expect Commissioner Davis soon, but he's not here yet.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Agenda item number 9, specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. Council Districts 8, 9, and 15 for the Main Street improvements, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to Imperial Highway. The estimate's $8,663,420, and the bid receipt date is January 16th, 2019. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 9 forthwith? By Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 8, specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids in Council District 11 for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Project, primary tanks upgrades, and Hyperion Water Reclamation primary tank skimmer improvements, as well as primary influent sluice gates. Estimate $19,560,529. Bid receipt date of January 16th, 2019. I'm sorry? Okay. Commissioner Cabello has moved that we adopt agenda item number 8 forthwith. Is there a second by Commissioner Jacinto? Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 8 forthwith. Agenda item number 7 is a sole source procurement for Alpha Laval G3 centrifuges. Recommend that the board approve the award to sole source the contract for the General Services Department to procure the aforementioned Alpha Laval G3 centrifuges for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. We have a representative from the Bureau today. Ollie, how are you, sir?
I'm well, President James.
We got you guys standing back a little farther this morning.
Yes.
Okay, well, we can still hear you.
Okay, very good. Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, Council, and Dr. Campos. On a daily basis, Hyperion receives and treats approximately 260 million gallons of wastewater. Secondary treatment at the plant relies on activated sludge to remove dissolved organics and fine suspended solids that remain in the wastewater after primary treatment. As part of the treatment process, the waste-activated sludge, or WAS, is thickened through separation of the liquid known as centrate from the sludge. This thickening process occurs in the waste-activated sludge thickening facility through the use of high-speed centrifuges. Currently, there are 12 Alpha Valve PM95000 centrifuges. Excuse me. The Alpha Valve PM95000 has been discontinued and replaced with the Alpha Valve G3. The units, the 95,000s are reaching their end of their useful life and experiencing frequent breakdowns. The PM95000 has been discontinued and the replacement unit is the Alpha Laval G3. With the foregoing information, we are recommending to sole source the 9 G3 centrifuges to replace 12 PM95000s. The justification for the sole source is 1, Alpha Laval is the original equipment manufacturer of the 20 dewatering and thickening centrifuges. 2, Alpha Laval discontinued the PM95000. The ALDAC G3 or G3 is a unit of higher capacity and lower energy consumption. Other machines of this capacity will not fit the existing footprint and will require extensive modification of the building. The G3's power consumption is significantly less. We estimate a savings of about $500,000 per year per unit. Alpha Laval is the sole parts supplier, and there are no authorized third-party distributors. For financing, there will be no impact to the general fund, and it will all be financed by SCMO.
Thank you, sir. Any questions on our sole source there, Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you, President James. Ali, thank you for this. Obviously, very important. We've got to keep our,
Yes.
our plants going, too. I just had a point of process question, a motion versus a board report for sole source. Usually we see these in a board report, and I wondered if timing or any other issue caused us to want to do a motion instead of a board report.
Well, we did a similar project at the sludge dewatering facility, and we did that via motion.
When was that, Ali?
Fiscal year 14, 15, 15, 16.
Okay. All right. So we'll understand the scope of work. Obviously, we got to keep our centrifuges going, too. I guess a question would be for Mr. Jordan. Are we okay with the motion versus the board report, Mr. Jordan?
Yes, it really is a matter of just sort of a kind of completeness of the record that is before the board. The motion has the same language that a report would have. It is signed by the Bureau Director. I concur in the recommendations. The board report frequently has a little bit more background information, but in this case, I do concur in the recommendation.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jordan. Ali, that's all I would kind of just recommend. The idea there's usually more information, details, background, although there is sufficient for here to go.
Okay, duly noted.
But, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacinto. And we've gotten the confirmation on the sole source justification from our city attorney. Therefore, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 7. Is there a second on number 7? By Commissioner Cabello. Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 7. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sending 7 forthwith. I was just informed from the respective bureaus, Bureau of Engineering, on the 2 oral reports. There's been a request that we continue agenda item number 10 to January 11th, 2019. It's hard to believe 2019 already is upon us, for the difficult access to reach program update, as well as agenda item number, that's for January 11th. The task order solicitation SN53 update, this is something that we discussed a little bit last week. There was a request that we continue it from today until next Friday, which is fine with me. It's just one more week, and they wanted to have the proper personnel to make that presentation. So that'll be the order on agenda items 10 and 11. Agenda item number 1, task order solicitation number 50, sidewalk repair program access request acceleration project, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue the task to Cordoba Corporation from the pre-qualified on-call civil design services consultants list. Actually, you know what? Before we do number 1, let's do number 4. We have a representative from a council office here today, and it's put in a speaker card, and I like to be able to have people go back to their places of work when we can. They're coming from our council offices. Agenda item number 4, Council District 2, revocable permit. Church of Scientology of the Valley, recommending that the board authorize the Office of Community Beautification to grant revocable permission to encroach within the public right-of-way, subject to listed conditions, to the Church of Scientology of the Valley. Encroachment is to beautify the existing traffic medians and repair the community monument at the intersection of Lankershim Boulevard, Burbank Boulevard, Tujunga Avenue in North Hollywood. Secondly, authorize the city engineer to issue no-fee revocable permits for the work to be performed. Third, authorize the city engineer to issue no-fee A permits for the work to be performed. And fourth, authorize the Office of Community Beautification to request the Bureau of Contract Administration to provide a no-fee inspection of the project. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. President, commissioners, and members of the board. I am Jerry Valido, program manager for the Adopt a Median program with the Office of Community Beautification. The Adopt a Median program is a longstanding program with the Office of Community Beautification that facilitates the process for community groups to undertake neighborhood improvement projects in the public right-of-way. This morning, as mentioned, we are requesting board approval for a proposed Adopt a Median project submitted by the Church of Scientology of the Valley in Council District 2. The group is proposing to beautify the existing traffic medians and restore the community monument at the intersection of Tujunga Avenue and Lankershim and Burbank Boulevards in North Hollywood. A letter of support has been submitted by Councilmember Krikorian of the 2nd Council District, and the plans for this project have been reviewed and approved by both the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Street Services. And additionally, we have in attendance today CD2 District Director Jackie Keene, who would like to speak on behalf of the project. And we do request at this time that the project be adopted by the board so that we may move on to the permitting phase of the process.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Valdito. Yes, Ms. Keene. Welcome. Welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As many of you know, as commissioners, a lot of times a lot of community members and the city itself does wonderful things. We get grants for trees, we plant them, we beautify medians, and then either the people that were involved in the planting move away, or the people or the neighborhood council that planted and improved the medians go away, and the city is left to maintain them. One of the things we're trying to do in CD2 is beautify our community and our gateways into the district. When you get off the freeway, when you're driving home at night and you exit a freeway or see a median that's got trash, debris, and weeds on it, how do you feel about coming home into your neighborhood? You don't feel very good. But when you come into a neighborhood and you see a beautiful median, thriving parkway trees, you feel pretty good about coming home. That's one of the things that we're trying to make a priority in our district, especially with the Olympics coming and the impression that our city and our district gives off to the community. So one of the things we've done is identify the medians in our district that need adopting. And we've worked with, our first one, our pilot project, is with the Church of Scientology. They were across the street from this median. They were doing some improvements to their place and said, hey, what can we do to help the community and make it a more visibly pleasing place? We said, would you be interested in adopting a median? And the rest is history. The downside of that is that was, what, about 2.5, 3 years ago? So the process does tend to take some time. One of the things we'd like to work with you with is to kind of streamline that process, give the various departments, Office of Beautification, Urban Forestry, all those departments that are under your jurisdiction, the resources they need to make our gateways and our communities aesthetically and visibly pleasing and maintained. We realize there's a lot of issues with some of the medians, in this case, irrigation. Staff came out and repaired it. Somebody came and vandalized it. So there's probably technology out there. There's other creative ways that we can work together to beautify these medians and work around that problem. The Adopt a Median program is one of the best programs I think we have in the city. I challenge all of us to try and find a business or a community group that's willing to adopt a median and go through the process. And then we can all work together to see how we can make that process more user-friendly. I really applaud Kathy and her group. They've really plugged away. They've come up with a beautiful design. In this particular case, when there was CRA funds, this median was improved back in the day, probably about 15 years ago or so. And then, as we all know, the CRA left, and it kind of fell into disrepair. And it's the gateway into the NoHo Arts District community, and it says, welcome to North Hollywood. I think the sign has been hit a few times. It needs help, and they are stepping forward to try and really make an improvement and make this gateway into our NoHo Arts District just wonderful. So we wholeheartedly support this and want to do what we can and hope that the board supports this. And hopefully I'll be here more often with future adoptions because we really are making it a priority in our district to beautify our wonderful district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Keene. We really always love granting these permits for our Adopt a Median program when Mr. Roch and Mr. Valdito and OCB comes in. It's always great to see our community partners that do this work. Kathy, I don't know that we've had a chance to work together yet, but I work with Janet Weiland regularly on Hollywood issues that are beautification issues, that are neighborhood cleanup issues, that are permit issues, and all kinds of things. And let me just say thank you to you and to the Church of Scientology for adopting this, and please pass on my regards to Ms. Weiland as well.
I will. I know her well.
Great.
And love her dearly, so I will pass that on.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the work on this. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Jerry, thank you for the report. And Jackie, thank you for your presence and yours and Councilmember Krikorian's leadership on this. As your commissioner liaison, love to work with you, as you said, to get more resources for our staff so we can adopt more, we could do more. And Mr. Morel, thank you so much for your partnership with the city and adopting and beautifying, because it's about pride of local, uber, hyper local. And when you see that, welcome to NoHo. That's a great sentiment, isn't it?
Yes, I'm really looking forward to the result.
Very good.
It's going to be fun.
Very good. So we'll work together, Jackie, on trying to do more. And
I was going to say, please invite us to the ribbon cutting
Absolutely. I think that's going to be fun.
Great, thank you. So Commissioner Jacinto, that'll be your motion. I'll second it along with Commissioner Garcia and Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. And any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith, so you all can go forthwith and do the great work. All right, thank you all. Agenda item number 1, we will recall number 1. Our task order solicitation number 50, Sidewalk Repair Program Access Request Acceleration Project, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue the task to Cordoba Corporation from the pre-qualified on-call civil design services consultants list to provide project design services for the Sidewalk Repair Program project as stated in task order solicitation number 50 with a budget authority of $575,000, which includes contingency. Good morning.
Good morning. I am Alice Kim. I am with the Bureau of Engineering Sidewalk Division. I am here before you to request for authorization to issue task order solicitation number 50 to Cordoba Corporation from the pre-qualified on-call civil design services consultants list for the Sidewalk Repair Program Access Request Acceleration Project with a budget authority of $575,000. To give you a background, on March 29, 2016, the City Council approved the Sidewalk Repair Program to repair sidewalk within the City of LA. The Bureau of Engineering was assigned to be the program manager, and we are continuously delivering this program. For this fiscal year 2018-19 budget, the sidewalk program was allocated $31 million for the city's annual commitment to Willits versus City of Los Angeles settlement agreement. Also, due to high demands for sidewalk repairs, the sidewalk repair program was allocated an additional $10 million to accelerate the Access Request sub-program. The Access Request program makes sidewalk repairs requested by or for people who are mobility disability who encounter physical barriers as they proceed walking down the sidewalk. However, implementing the Access Request Acceleration Project will exceed the capacity of the current sidewalk repair program staffing resources. Hence, it is recommended that this task be issued by project management and design services for a duration of 9 months. On July 16, 2018, the Bureau of Engineering solicited the task to all 10 firms from the pre-qualified on-call civil design services consultants list. On August 20th, 2018, 2 solicitations were received, which were from Cordoba Corporation and Mars Services. Through staff's review, we concluded that Cordoba Corporation provided the most responsive proposal. On September 5th, 2018, we notified Cordoba Corporation that they were selected for the task and negotiations had been agreed upon, but pending on the board's approval. As for the Minority Business Enterprise and Women Business Enterprise, the MeeBee-Weebee Subcontractor Outreach Program, Cordoba Corporation will have 2 sub-consultants, EW Moon Inc. with a participation of 13% for MeeBee, and Wagner Engineering and Serving Inc. with a participation of 3.67% of Weebee. The funding is secured through the Sidewalk Repair Program account. In conclusion, it is BOE's staff's recommendation to issue a task order solicitation number 50 to Cordoba Corporation for the Sidewalk Repair Program's Access Request Acceleration Project with a budget authority of $575,000. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. Always very helpful for us when you present. Quick question. Do you happen to know, is Cordoba itself, we worked with them on many projects, I know them, are they a registered WBE or MBE as a prime, even though we don't count them here? Do we know if they're registered as a prime?
not sure.
Okay. I think that they might, I know we don't count primes, but I think that they might qualify, just based on my knowledge of the company, but not entirely sure. Either way, their numbers are respectable on this project, as they are on many of them. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Alice, thank you for this. This is a very important request. The sidewalk repair program, and we have usually we have 20% of the annual budget that's supposed to be set aside for access-related requests. Let me ask a clarifying question. Are we adding what is our total spend then for this fiscal year for the access requests? You said we're adding 10 million. Is that on top of 5 million? Is that 15 million total? Or?
No, for this fiscal year, out of the $31 million, $11.9 million is allocated to Bureau of Street Services, and part of that, they deliver the access request program.
Okay, so it's 10 million is what we're...
Yes, 10 million is an additional. This is through a different funding source or through a different schedule, 5, that's allocated beyond the 31 million.
It's an augmentation for this year.
Yes.
To accelerate it, right? And I see Bob there shaking his head. Thank you. But what the impact this will do is will help us get lower in the list. There's a long waiting list for access-related work.
That's
and
correct.
So we'll be able to accelerate it to get down and do more and create more access throughout the city.
Yes. So for part of this task order solicitation, the consultants is to design 90 sites. So currently we have. Because we base these sites based on our prioritization and scoring system, so our priority is to address all sites that are 45 points, which is the maximum score. So we received 1,705 access requests, and there are 485 sites that have 45 points.
So we're just going to be able to bite into that and take care of that. And that's the highest. So that's the most serious and the highest in the waterfall table in terms of those points. So we're going to be addressing the most serious access-related projects, sites.
That's correct.
Great. Okay. I'm all for this. I think we should try to get more. And thanks to the City Council for allocating more resources for this, too. So thank you, Alice.
Thank you both, Commissioner Jacinto, as well. Is that a motion, Commissioner Jacinto? Seconded by Commissioners Cabello and Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 1. Thank you, ma'am. Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We will send number 1 forthwith. Agenda item number 2 in Council District 14 is a personal services contract for the Los Angeles Street Civic Building Development Project, recommending that the board approve and forward the report with transmittals to the mayor, requesting to approve and authorize myself or 2 commissioners of the Board of Public Works to execute a contract with ARUP Advisory Incorporated to advise on the public-private partnership procurement process. Say that one fast 5 times. The public-private partnership procurement process for the LASCB with a budget authority of $2 million for 5 years, which includes contingency and reimbursable expenses for the public-private partnership procurement process. Mahmoud.
That was the longest subject line I have ever seen. Good morning, Mahmoud Karim, the Bureau of Engineering. So we are here to ask you to approve this report that is basically bringing a consultant firm to help us, the city, in order to go through the procurement process for the civic building, which replaces the Parker Center, the existing Parker Center. Now, as you mentioned, the President James mentioned, this basically is for $2 million in overall. That includes contingencies and reimbursable amount. Well, before I jump into the whole report, I would like to also mention that this project is a huge collaboration between the city departments and the stakeholders outside the city, inside the city. So I want to recognize our colleagues in Mayor Office, CAO, CLA, and Council Districts. But in particular, I want to recognize 2 of our colleagues here, Kiana Tahiri from Mayor Office, and also Jackie Wagner from CAO's office. They are our partner every step of the way. We have moved this project, so I thank you so much. So in order to go through this process, basically I want to get you back to last July, where the Mayor Office and the City Council approved $32.3 million money in order to funding in order to demolish the Parker Center, as well as authorizing the Bureau of Engineering to use the remaining money to bring a consultant in and go through the procurement process, bring in or do whatever need to be done in order to implement a delivery method which is public-private partnership. So as a result, what we did was we gathered with our partners, Mayor Office, CAS, CLA's office, and Council Office, and we recognized that there is a list of professional consultants with the CIO's office that could be the most suitable list to use in order to bring the consultant in. That list has been put together by our colleagues at CIO, which provides the real estate asset management services, provides economic development services for the city, and the names were there and the firms there were recognized that been involved with the similar process that we are involved in, and it was great to get that list utilized for this purpose. So as such, we in September of this year, we sent a request for proposal to all of those firms in that list and asked them to send us their qualification and the similar project that they've been involved with and why they should be a good candidate for our project. We received 5 responses, and 5 firms very enthusiastically want to get involved with this project. And when we reviewed, we recognized they're all good and qualified, so we interviewed them. And through the interview process, we selected the firm that is before you for approval, which is Arab Advisory, Inc. Now, I want to go to the slide. You might ask, since we have put together our own list in the Bureau of Engineering, you have heard about our list, about our consultants a lot, so you're probably more familiar with our consultant than with that list. So I thought it might be a good idea to just introduce you the Arab Advisory Inc. firm. So if you look at the screen, basically this firm is an international firm. It's been put together in 1946 in Europe and United Kingdom, but since 1960s, when they did the Sydney Opera House, they became joined a lead team of consulting and engineering consulting firm.
Yeah, that's a fairly iconic building, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the last, let's say in the last 60 years or so, they have really grown up to be very involved internationally with the huge projects, such as the one that we are looking forward to build. They have about 92 offices internationally and about 13,000 people. The slide you see, the picture, is basically Long Beach. This is, in the middle of the picture is what the city of the Long Beach tried, a similar delivery method to ours, which is design, build, finance, operate, and maintain project. And
the city of Long Beach has gotten some accolades about that, and it's kind of a textbook case for municipal governments around the state and even beyond our state borders for the way that they delivered that project as well.
Correct, exactly. Very put together nicely, because there are not many DBOF OM delivery method in U.S., in a nation. And, so you can imagine in California and in Southern California, there will be even more limited number of projects. So City of Long Beach became like a textbook for other municipality in order to kind of learn and whatever they lesson learn, utilizing our way of doing our projects. Because of that, we actually got a tour of the buildings with the facilities. We discussed with everybody who were involved, with attorneys, city officials who did the project and tried to learn from them. We met with them about 8-9 months ago. They took us for a site visit. That the construction was very actually right in the middle of the construction. But the whole delivery method, it works good so much that they are months ahead of a schedule now. Even though when they started slowly behind the schedule. Then at the midpoint, they went a little above the schedule, and now they're months ahead of schedule. They're going to actually open the facility sometime early spring 2019. So just put some more example. The next one is when we went through the Long Beach. Just want to mention the project is similar, 600,000 square foot, about $470 million to our project. They have done other projects in California. The City of Napa Civic Center, Napa Valley, also was a DBOFM. It's about $110 million. The size is not huge, it's 150 to 200,000 square foot, but they provided project management and also construction management for that project. For the new natural resource building in Sacramento, they did similar process. It's a design build, it's not finance, operation, maintenance involved. However, the design build is integral process within the DBOFM process. So it's a very close to what we're doing here. And also in Presidio Parkway in San Francisco, they did the similar process, DBOFM, and provided similar services that they are proposing to provide for the city of Los Angeles. So now that we know who the Arab is, what we did is basically we put together a scope of work for them. In the report before you, you see 13 major highlight of the services they're going to provide us. I don't know if you want me to go through them, but they are ranged from real estate to financial services, project management services. Basically,
it's all in the board report.
Yes, every step of the way, they will be helping us in order to go through this. To just mention what the process will look like, the first milestone for us is to issue the request for qualification to the entities that they want to build this for us, finance it, operate it, maintain it for probably 30 years. So that RFQ is the first thing to happen. They will help us to issue it and all that. And we hope we receive, I don't know, hopefully 10 or above 10 qualification statement. And after that, we are going to go review them and shortlist them, get the city council to approve the shortlist, and issue a request for proposal to the shortlisted firms, maybe 3 or 4 firms. And then, of course, when we receive the proposals, is going through the selection criteria and process in order to put one selected firm for the city council to approve a project agreement with. But the beauty of this process is when we send them the request for proposal, they need to come back with the concept that they can build, and they put a fee in there. So we, in essence, we will see the building. We will see the aesthetic, we will see the structure, we will see the engineering system they're proposing to us. We will see basically what the project that is going to house our city employees for the next, hopefully, 100 years. So in essence, we have a design competition. That's a design competition. They're coming back with the 3 hopefully distinguished proposals. Now, in order to make sure during this concept they put together and the financial model they put together, they do it right and they go in the right direction, the city team is going to meet with these 3 or 4 proposers from the point that they start to the end. We meet with them periodically in order to just see what they're doing, if we have to nudge them through the right direction without providing any input in terms of their services or the quality of the services or proposal. So we think that hopefully sometime by November, December next year, we are at the point that we can start the selection criteria process about the one selected entity who will do the consortium of the people who will do the building for us. And our hope is sometime in March or April of 2020, we can basically have this council to approve that project agreement. We think the building could be done in, let's say, early spring of 2023, and that the city employees start to move into the building. So the $2 million before you, $1.75 million is the fee for the consultant. About $213,000 is the contingency. About $36,000 is the reimbursable amount. I think I cover a lot of things. I will be glad to answer your question if you have any.
Thank you, Mahmoud. Very comprehensive. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Just wanted to congratulate you, Mahmoud, on this presentation. Thank you for the information about Arab, because they're a new player to the city. You know, you're going to be leading and serving this project moving forward. So it's in good hands. I want to thank our colleagues from the mayor's office and CEO's office too. the design, build, finance, operate, and maintenance, DBFOM, is a very new thing for us too. And so, and everything is in there. I'm just going to underscore the fact that this is the centerpiece of the Civic Center renewal, together with the First and Broadway, which is, of course, in the Bureau of Engineering, Architectural Division as well. So this renaissance of our core of our city is so important that I'm going to stress that ERA do the best job in having community and stakeholder engagement. I remember early on there was some articulation designs about how the Civic Center, Los Angeles Street Civic Building will interface and articulate with nearby locales like Little Tokyo, Chinatown, El Pueblo. And it's so important that all those flow and the actual usage and it be designed and built in a way that will serve the needs and engage the local population to revitalize, so that we have a nightlife, a safe and vibrant nightlife here after hours, and all the different things that it's intended to do, as well as house all our city workers, or because we'll be vacating the Public Works building on Flower Street. So can't stress that enough. Want to make sure that we have the process that's vigorous and engaging, and you can never have too much community and stakeholder engagement to build and design the best project moving forward. So please, let's ensure that we're moving forward with ERA.
Thank you so much. Very, very valuable points. We're going to carry all these points to our work, and hopefully at one point, if your board wants us to come back and report back on the progress of the Civic Center Master Plan, we will be glad to do so.
Very good. Thank you, Mahmoud.
Thank you, Commissioner Cinto. Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, President James. Mahmoud, good job again. You always do such a thorough job in explaining what you're doing, and this is such a complex and important project that we'll have. I just have really basic questions. Did I hear it correctly that once after we go through all this process and coordination, this will be done by 2023?
Yes. Right now, our schedule, our goal shows that 2023, early spring or so, the building should be completed.
Nice. Okay. Well, just keep us abreast, of your development and how it's going, and of course, this very important coordination work that you're about to enter. So
Sure.
good luck on that. And we're here to support anything you want to do.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. I would just close by thanking our partners. Thank Gary, please, our city engineer, and our Ted for your review, and to our partners at the CAO's office as well. We appreciate it, along with the mayor's office. So with that, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2, seconded by Commissioners Davis, Jacinto, and Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3 is a very important item. The Board of Public Works holiday and recess schedule for 2019 calendar year. Recommending that the board establish and approve the proposed Board of Public Works holiday and recess schedule for calendar year 2019. I was tempted, well, Davis says he opposes. I bet I'll talk him out of it. I was tempted to continue it because I had gotten a request by a former commissioner about looking closer at our July 4th winter or summer recess so that we have a complete week. And we actually do this year because of the way that it falls on a Thursday. So we're recessed that whole week, July 1, 3, and 5. So we've got that complete week. So I really don't have anything that I was going to add to it. Dr. Campos, we'll start with you.
Good morning, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. This is definitely a good report to come to you at the end of the year. Typically, we come in November, but this year we're a couple of weeks behind. As you mentioned, President James, this year, the 4th of July holiday does fall within that 1 week, so it gives us that entire week. However, in comparison to City Council, just to highlight the comparison, they do take July 5th all the way to July 26th as a summer recess. In addition to that, City Council takes 34 days in total, plus 3 holidays that fall within the 12 typical holidays. So it gives them a total of about 37 days that City Council is off on recess or on holiday in aggregate. The item before you is to approve the schedule for 2019 for this board, which has 22 days in total. There's 10 legal holidays. In addition to that, there's 4 non-legal holidays, which are more faith-based days that we're recommending to take off or be in recess, and that is Good Friday on Friday, April 19th, also Ramadan on Monday, May 6th, and also Rosh Hashanah on Monday, September 30th, and Yom Kippur on Wednesday, October 9th. All other days fall within the typical holiday schedule that all city staff is off. In addition to that, we do have 2 recess periods, one in the winter time, which is from December 20th all the way through January 3rd, 2020, and then also the summer recess, which is, again, that 1 week, including that 4th of July weekend.
I would just add that we added a summer recess
We did.
with this board in the Garcetti administration. There was not a summer recess before. So I capitulated and added that summer recess.
We've added the summer recess.
In
and
counter
we've also,
to your
correct.
statement of the length of time
Summer
that's taken down
recess
the
and
hall.
also the 4 non-holiday
Yeah.
faith-based days.
Yeah.
So that's in addition to that. So we are definitely at a better schedule. It allows staff to take time off. Also, it allows the commissioners to be with your families and also friends during those special occasions and holidays. So we do appreciate the schedule that the board is considering to be in recess and also the holidays.
Great. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioner Cabello and Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Any issue sending number 3 forthwith? We will send number 3 forthwith. Thank you all. Agenda item number 5 is a contract acceptance. Council Districts 1, 2, 5, and 13, and American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 resurfacing approach roadways at 4 bridge locations. It's a federal project, obviously. Recommending that the board accept the contract, and secondly, increase the project budget by $221,741.11. So you're taking it from $2,542,014 up to $2,763,755.11. Mr. Smith.
Good morning, Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration. Yes, the Bureau is indeed recommending acceptance of this contract and also a budget adjustment, which I have a representative from the Bureau of Engineering to address that issue. This contract was issued by the board August 18, 2010, and completed March 3, 2014 by Powell Constructors, Inc. The work consisted of resurfacing at 4 bridge locations in Council Districts 1, 2, 5, and 13. The funding for the original scope of work was federal, therefore this contract was subject to DBE requirements, which the contractor fulfilled. There are no unresolved financial or property issues. The Bureau recommends acceptance, and the Bureau of Engineering will address the budget increase.
Great. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Wen Qing with the Bureau of Engineering Bridge Improvement Program. I want to thank Chris and all the colleagues in contract administration to close out this project and accept the contract. Here, I want to give you a little more information about this budget increase. During the course of construction, we found out that we needed to take care of some additional work at the 2 locations. One was to repair a pedestrian trail for safety improvements near Colfax Avenue, and the other one was a street resurfacing job on Fulton Avenue. There was approved budget for the additional work. The ARA contractor, that is a Powell, happened to be working nearby these 2 locations. Therefore, we directed Powell to perform the actual work and pay them through change orders using the approved budget. BOE inadvertently did not seek your approval for budget increase for this contract before. While we are accepting this contract, we request an increase of the contract budget. I would be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you. Any questions at all regarding the budget increase? Commissioner Cabello.
Exactly. Thank you, President James. It's not regarding the budget increase. I'm fine with the item. Just curious because I used to work on the ARA grant program with then Council President Garcetti. The 2.142 million, that all was ARA funds, just curious. Originally, the contract that was awarded, that was all ARA funding?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the bid price.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. No other questions? Is that a motion, Commissioner Cabello? Seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 5. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chris. Any issue sending 5 forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Agenda item number 6 is a bid extension for the North Hollywood Sewer Maintenance Yard, recommending that the board extend the bid date from December 19th. It looks like, what's that, about 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks. 3 weeks, to January 9th, 2019, and instruct the Bureau of Engineering to advise all prospective bidders of the board's action by addendum. And here to explain the motion to extend the bid, good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Celso Del Pozo from the Bureau of Engineering Architectural Division, and I'm here today to request extension of a bid, this wonderful project that we have done in-house in Architectural Division. This project here is actually for sanitation yard. This is about an acre size of the yard. It's very small. Thinking of housing all these maintenance trucks. So the project objective is to optimize the yard. And this building here is about 8,500 square feet, 2-story. And one of our net zero certification that we're going into, and also it's going to be also a LEED minimum of gold level for LEED certification. So we also on this project we're going to be using a recycled water for irrigation. We're not doing it in the building, but we are have the building ready for accepting using recycled water in the future when the supply from DWP for recycled water is more stable. So we would like to extend the bid. When we went out during October 26th, this is before the Thanksgiving holiday, and we got a lot of contractors called to express their concern not getting enough time to get their bid from their subcontractor. So it's kind of alarming to us not having too much of people. General contractor came to the previous meeting, so we would like to extend it in order to get a better, accurate bids and also more competitive. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. I don't have any questions on the reason. We'll start with Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you for your report. Thank you, President James. Thank you for your report. With the extension that you're requesting, is there a plan of action to increase those, the awareness of the bids, or what is it? What are we going to do with it with this extra time to make it better?
What we're suggesting is also for the city engineer to upload it in LA Bavin in order to get another addendum out to alarm all the contractor, give more time to people to see the project and be able to bid on it. So we also kind of calling some other contractor to inform them that we're extending the bid. So because there's a lot of contractors that called in saying that they didn't get a chance to get into previous meeting and a mandatory job walk, so they missed it. So kind of call them back and tell them that we will going to extend and get another mandatory job walk for this job.
Thank you. Was this project previously placed on Bavin before?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we have a plan to kind of increase the awareness of this bid, right?
Yes. We were calling a few contractor. Actually, only 4 general contractor attended the pre-bid meeting. And now there are another 7 contractor that says they're interested, knowing that this is one of the net zero certified building, and it's going to be gold, silver. Everybody wants to kind of get on it and be a part of this project.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Davis?
In terms of the prime contractors that were interested, you said there were approximately 4 in the past that showed up for the information meeting. Of those 4, did one of them turn in a proposal? Did none of them turn in?
No, because the bid is not due until December 19th.
Oh, I see. And currently we have?
Currently we don't have, but we're working on it that hopefully just after you approve this motion, we will go out and send an addendum to formally show them that there's an extension. Hopefully there'll be a lot more contractor will come forward and look at this project.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Anything further? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6, seconded by Commissioners Davis and Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend. Any issue sending number 6 forthwith? We will send number 6 forthwith. Is there a second to my motion that we approve agenda item, the meeting minutes from the meeting of Wednesday, November 7th, 2018, by Commissioner Cabello? Any objection? Without objection, those meeting minutes will be approved. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk other than our adjourning motions?
Yes, you have.
Okay. Commissioner Davis, you have an adjourning motion.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and my colleagues here on the Board of Public Works. Today, I want to adjourn in the memory of one of our citizens, Gene Autry Johnson, who was the husband of Betty Johnson, who was a former employee and retired employee currently of the Department of Water and Power, and they have 2 children, Gina and Christian. Gene had an illustrious career as an educator in Los Angeles in the South LA area, where he served as a coach at Manual Arts High School as well as at Jefferson High School, and coached many generations of basketball players throughout the city of Los Angeles. And his services were last Wednesday. Both he and his wife also were very active in civic affairs, and in particular, they worked, his wife was on the board, Betty, was on the board for the Museum of African American Art, which is over in the Baldwin Hills Mall, and is a collaborative with the May Company. Gene took on several of the reconstruction ideas that helped to establish this Museum of Art, of course, drafted by his wife to do so, and they built out the community room in the Art Center there, and they have named it the Gene Autry Stage there, where they rent out to the community this facility for events, for special events. Gene was also an avid golfer, playing in many golf clubs, including played with many of our public officials, including Ambassador Sidney Williams, who's Congresswoman Waters' husband. The Fun Lovers Golf Club is one of the very popular ones, of which they both belong. And he played golf often with State Senator Steve Bradford. So Gene had a long bout with prostate cancer, but he was an outstanding civic leader, having made a great impression upon many young men in our community through his role as a basketball coach over the years, and he will sorely be missed.
Thank you. We are adjourned. We are so adjourned.